Hey, my name is John Burk, and I'm that fat shaming guy on YouTube and Facebook that all the fat people hate. So I grew up in a small town in southeast Texas called Port Neches. It was like one of those towns that, if you've ever seen that movie Friday Night Lights, it was kind of like that. Like everybody played football, you know, you had your dorks, you had your jocks, and I was kind of like somewhere in the middle, didn't know where I really fit in. Dropped out of high school to join the Army when I was 17, and I left, and I didn't really want to go back because I knew there was so much more of the world to see. And that's essentially where I grew up in. So I had a very hard upbringing because my mother, she raised me and my brother by herself. You know, we were latchkey kids. Dad took off. I don't want to talk about it. Still have some unresolved issues. But anyway, yeah, it was a difficult childhood. But you know, she did work hard to put food on the table, and I definitely learned a lot from that. But joined the Army when I was 17, enlisted into the infantry. Did some tours over in Iraq and Afghanistan. I did 13 years in the Army, and I decided that I wanted to move on and try my hand at business and try things that I kind of felt uncomfortable in, different scenarios or situations that I'd never really been put in regards to finance or business or things such as that. Because in the Army, I loved it, it was great, but there was a kind of a time to where it's like it's time to move on and do something else. So during my time in the Army, I served in various different positions, from team leader, squad leader, at one point platoon sergeant, the 101st Airborne. I did time on the trail with Bravo 150 as a drill sergeant. And I think that's where I kind of developed like a lot of my motivational tactics and techniques when I do my viral videos that people call fat shaming. It was like the drill sergeant method of approach. And it did very well. A lot of people responded positively to it. A lot of people responded negatively to it. But it was just the whole learning process of just learning how to reach different individuals and what they respond best to motivation-wise. So right now, where I'm at is with the whole COVID thing, I'm to the point of starting an OnlyFans. My Grindr profile kind of tanked. That I expected better out of that, but that didn't work out so well. Now, right now, you know, I won't sit here and pretend like I hit a home run right after leaving the service. There was a lot of hit and miss. There was a lot of trying my hand at different things. And the difficult part, I think, was just being in kind of like the social media spotlight, to where everyone's going to watch your successes, but more importantly, they're going to watch your failures, and they're going to try and hammer you on that, because social media is very unforgiving. But I started making tankards out of my garage, similar to this, and I launched that business from my garage. And then later on, one of my partners and I, we got together and we said, well, you know, let's do a CBD company. I was like, well, it's a very oversaturated market. What's going to make us different? So we said, you know what, let's do price point. Let's undercut the market, and let's make sure it's a very good, potent product. So we were able to make that happen. We invested in that, and we were blessed. We were very blessed. We basically hit the ground running, and that's when we launched Shell Shock CBD. We've been very blessed because it's great to be able to, number one, run a business, support families, but also offer veterans a product that's not snake oil, that actually works for a lot of people out there, from sleep time gummies to anti-anxiety CBD oil. And it's this whole thing that encompasses it, that's like, look, you don't have to, and I can't say this for all the cases, but for a lot of the cases out there, you don't have to be on opioids from the VA. You don't have to go out there and take all of these drugs with these secondary and tertiary side effects. You can take a more natural, and I hate saying holistic approach, because I think people associate that with kind of like the people in the shops wearing like the garb, the rainbow colored stuff, and they're like banging on drums, and it's like, okay, we're gonna cleanse your spirit with some like sage or whatever. You know, I'm not knocking it, but it's like it's just a more natural approach that kind of goes that direction, that I think a lot of people have doubted for a long time, because Big Pharma has basically demonized it, saying it's not gonna work, it's not as potent, and now it's hitting the market. People are trying it, and it's like, this actually works. So I tested it myself because I was a doubter. I didn't believe in it, and I actually tried it. It's like, this actually works. And I had to eat my words, because I publicly said I think CBD is a farce. And once I tried it, I was like, this does work. I was like, okay, so let's go from there. And that's when we launched Shell Shock CBD. And we've been very blessed, not just from being successful as a company, but we actually have thousands upon thousands of customers that are getting help. It's actually helping. It's saving lives. It's really saving lives, which is wonderful. So that's what we're doing there. And then we have Tipsies & Co., which are our shaving company. So we have beard care, we have shaving handles, shaving razors, we have cologne, we have aftershave, we have a body wash. We're coming out with more cologne, and there's just a lot on the horizon. So it's a lot on the plate, but it's a blessing to be in this position. So the biggest challenge I faced in regards to these three businesses, it's just, I wouldn't say it's one big challenge. I'd say it's small little challenges that appear along the journey. You know, I can't say like it's just this one monstrous demon that you have to fight, and then once you conquer it, you know, you're good to go. It's just every week, sometimes every day, there's just small little things that pop up that you can I mean, honestly, the way I look at it is that the thing that benefits veterans the most as opposed to civilians is that when you're faced or confronted with a problem, you know, I'd say a lot of veterans have this mindset, such as myself, to where it's like, okay, well, this doesn't mean we failed. How do we fix this? How do we address this? What's our plan B? What's our plan C? Or do we have to pull back and go a different avenue to make this happen? Whereas then I think a lot of other people would just say, well, it's not going to happen, close shop, we're done. And that's what I think veterans don't realize when it comes to the business world. You've been given a set of skills that I think that many people don't even realize you even have, because it's second nature to you. So it's like failure isn't even in your book. And that's the biggest thing for me. It's just like every day it's like, hey, there's something up with the website. Maybe there's something up with the merchant account, or maybe there's something here, or something with the product. And so those are the small challenges over time. So I wouldn't say it's one big challenge. I would just say it's it's like death by 1,000 paper cuts versus like a shotgun blast to the chest. So, and I shouldn't say death, but you get where I'm going with that. The biggest piece of advice I would give to any veteran entrepreneur out there that wants to launch their own business is anyone that's, and this is going to hurt a lot of people's feelings, but I think you already know who I am with that. You take this for what you want. Those people out there selling you a dream based upon your motivation or their motivation, say for example, you can do it, blah, 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 you know, just follow that dream, which I'm sure a lot of people would tell you, and it sounds great in theory, but when it comes to practical application, it's garbage. Do your research. The number one reason why most businesses fail is failure to research the market. I couldn't tell you how many times I get asked by veterans like, hey, and it's kind of ironic because y'all are interviewing me, but it's like, hey, I want to launch a t-shirt company. It's like, why? Do you know the margins on that? Do you know the demographic? It's been done a million different times. You got to follow the trends. Where's the trend at right now? And a lot of these veteran entrepreneurs will go out there with this, and I'm not trying to knock it, but it's this pie in the sky kind of dream. Like, I can do anything I put my mind to. That's true, but are you doing the back end research? Go look up why most businesses fail and take that to value, take that to heart. You know, don't just look at somebody else's success and say, well, I want that. It's like, okay, but maybe you can't achieve that because it's already been done, especially in the veteran space. Like, biggest thing, a t-shirt company and a coffee company, don't do it. Don't do it. Do something else. And I know your heart might be in that, but the thing is, if you want to be successful, find another alternative route. Just figure that out. But do your research and don't buy into this pie in the sky. Like, I could sit here and just pull motivation out of my ass and it's so generic, you know, just like, oh, that sounds great. It's like, but how have you actually helped me? Go research why businesses fail. Go research colors when it comes to sales, like the dominant colors that are actually that catch people's eye when it comes to how your product is made, the labeling, everything. You have to question everything and consider that. So I'd say that's my advice. Is like, just don't buy into the generic motivation. Do your research, you know. What does the future hold for me? I'd have to say that I'd be a foolish man to even guess. I don't know. I don't know. 5 years ago, I would not have seen myself doing this. I just don't know. I think that there's nothing wrong with having goals, short-term, long-term, but I think the most crucial, important thing is to be fluid with your goals. Sometimes you have to go from point A to point C to hit point B. It's not so simplistic, but in the future, what I would love to see me doing is just doing what I'm doing now, you know, grinding, loving the job, being around great people, helping people. I'm not even gonna lie, being financially successful, that's the American dream for many people out there, is when you launch a business, I don't think anybody really launches it with the hopes of, well, I just always wanna be poor. It's like, I wanna be able to take care of myself, take care of my family, take care of other people, put food on my employees' tables, offer them all kinds of things. And that's what Shell Shock CBD has done for our company, and that's why I love it. It's a good family, it's a tight-knit community of people. And we've grown with their support because they believe in the company, they believe in the brand, they believe in me. And I'm blessed to be in this position. So as far as the future goes, I don't know. I mean, only God does. So it's kind of like, if you want to make God laugh, just tell him your plans. So I don't know.
Full 1, ready 9 line. Type 2 control by Misty 31, 133 NA, 25 feet. Vehicles in the open.